Silence is not weakness, it's a weapon. The loudest person in the room often feels the most insecure. The quiet one? They're observing, calculating, waiting. And by the time you realize what they're capable of, it's already too late. We live in a world that worships noise. Social media rewards oversharing. Workplaces reward constant talking. Relationships reward dramatic expression. But history shows something different. The most dangerous minds, the most powerful leaders, the most emotionally untouchable individuals, they speak less. And when they do, people listen. Today we're breaking down the psychology of silence and why quiet people often hold the most power in any room. Most people confuse visibility with influence. If someone talks a lot, we assume they know a lot. If someone dominates the conversation, we assume they lead. But psychology tells a different story. Studies on social dominance show that people who speak less are often perceived as more thoughtful and intelligent, especially when they choose their words carefully. Why? Because silence creates tension, and tension creates authority. When someone pauses before speaking, everyone subconsciously leans in. The brain wants resolution. Silence demands attention without asking for it. The loud person tries to control the room with volume. The quiet person controls it with presence. And presence is far more powerful. Here's what most people don't realize. When you're talking, you're not learning. But when you're silent, you're gathering data. Quiet people often understand more about the room than anyone else. They notice who's insecure, who's trying too hard, who's lying, who's nervous, who wants approval. They see patterns. They watch reactions. They read micro-expressions. And while everyone else is focused on being seen, they're focused on understanding. That's power. Because knowledge of human behavior is the ultimate leverage. The loudest person in the room gives away their strategy. The silent one hides theirs. There's another layer to silence. Emotional regulation. Most people react instantly. They defend themselves immediately. They argue loudly. They explain too much. Quiet individuals don't rush. When insulted, they pause. When criticized, they analyze. When provoked, they stay calm. And nothing unsettles aggressive personalities more than calm silence. Why? Because emotional reactions are predictable. Silence isn't. If someone yells and you yell back, the dynamic is clear. But if someone yells and you stare calmly, their brain starts to panic. Silence shifts psychological control. It forces the other person to fill the gap. And in that gap, people reveal themselves. One of the strongest traits of quiet people? They don't over-explain. Most people talk too much when they feel misunderstood. They try to justify every decision. But powerful individuals understand something critical. The more you explain yourself, the more you lower your perceived authority. Leaders don't beg to be understood. They state. They decide. They move. Silence signals certainty. Over-explanation signals doubt. And in psychology, perception becomes reality. If you appear unsure, people treat you as unsure. If you remain composed and brief, people assume confidence. Silence amplifies confidence. There's something slightly intimidating about quiet people. Not because they're aggressive, but because they're unreadable. Humans fear what they can't predict. If someone talks constantly, you know their thoughts. You know their weaknesses. You know their emotional triggers. But a quiet person? You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know if they approve. You don't know their next move. That unpredictability creates psychological weight. and people subconsciously respect what they can't fully access. In negotiation psychology, silence is a known tactic. After making an offer, skilled negotiators stay silent. Why? Because silence pressures the other person to respond. Most humans are uncomfortable with quiet tension, so they speak first. And often, they reveal too much. They lower their offer. They add extra information. They justify unnecessarily. The silent negotiator simply waits. Patience becomes leverage. The person who controls silence controls the outcome. Quiet people are often underestimated, and that's an advantage. When people assume you're weak, they drop their guard. They reveal secrets. They expose strategy. They show their true intentions. Meanwhile, the quiet individual is building understanding. Silence allows you to move without resistance. It keeps expectations low, so your actions hit harder. The most powerful move in any competitive space is to be overlooked, and silence makes that possible. Silence isn't about fear. It's not about social anxiety. There's a difference between being quiet and being powerless. True psychological silence is intentional. It's chosen. It's controlled. It's strategic. You speak when necessary. You observe when valuable. You respond when effective. And you never waste energy proving yourself. Because power doesn't scream. It doesn't chase validation. It doesn't beg for attention. It waits. The world tells you to be louder, to speak more, to share everything, to react instantly. But strength often hides in restraint. Silence sharpens awareness. It strengthens emotional control. It creates mystery. It builds authority. And in a noisy world, the quiet mind becomes unstoppable. So next time you feel pressure to speak just to fill the air, pause. Let silence work for you. Because sometimes, the most powerful statement is the one you don't say. One of the strongest traits of quiet people? They don't over-explain. Most talk too much when misunderstood. They try to justify every decision. But powerful individuals know. The more you explain, the more you lower your perceived authority. Leaders don't beg to be understood. They state. They decide. They move. Silence signals certainty. Over-explaining signals doubt. Perception becomes reality. Appear unsure. People treat you as unsure. Remain composed and brief. People assume confidence. Silence amplifies it. There's something intimidating about quiet people. Not aggressive, but unreadable. Humans fear what they can't predict. Loud people reveal thoughts, weaknesses, triggers. Quiet people? You don't know their next move. That unpredictability creates psychological weight. People subconsciously respect what they can't access. In negotiation, silence is a tactic. After an offer, skilled negotiators stay silent. Most humans are uncomfortable with quiet tension. They speak first, reveal too much, lower offers, justify unnecessarily. The silent negotiator waits. Patience becomes leverage. Control silence. Control outcome. Quiet people are often underestimated. That's an advantage. When people assume you're weak, they drop guard. They reveal secrets. They expose strategy. Meanwhile, the quiet individual is building understanding. Silence allows you to act without resistance. Expectations stay low, so actions hit harder. The most powerful move is to be overlooked, and silence makes that possible.